Hey, how's it going, guys? JJ Wilson here, and I'm proud to present to you all the next 6 chapters for GANGSTA Cursed. And before I do so, I'd like to thank the people responsible for sending out these chapters and getting them online. First off, I want to thank Noodle-kun for the actual translations, so that way people can start looking at it. And I believe it wasn't just that person, Noodle-kun, it was also from the fan page, the GANGSTA fan page, the people responsible for that, Rainbow Pacifiers and also Lex Benedetto. So I just want to thank those guys for, letting us fans read the next several chapters for GANGSTA Cursed. So starting off with chapter 10, if anybody looked at my review for chapter 9, for GANGSTA Cursed, so we left off with the leader of the story, Maverick. She just killed the two people. One was a Twilight, Laszlo, the old guy, somewhat older man, and also the little girl that was with him, Helen, the human. So she just chopped off their heads, and she did that while looking for spies. And it turns out in the beginning of the chapter, she will find out that spies was indeed in that place with the man and the girl. And before we get to that fight, there are a couple other fights here. You had Mini-Me versus Arnold and Leanne, and Neo, of course, the other guy that was with Arnold and Leanne, went out to fight spies as he was escaping from Mini-Me because he tried to get Mini-Me to, join his side, his cause for not killing Twilight anymore. He refused. So now it's Nero versus spies fighting, and I believe the last fight is later on with Spies and Maverick, the beginning of their confrontation. So let's go back to the beginning of the chapter. And the beginning portion of chapter 10 this is basically how Laszlo and Helen were killed. It looked like Helen was going to give Laszlo a glass of water because he asked for it. The next thing you know, Maverick just busts in there, and she manages to get a stab wound on Helen. She's lying on the ground bleeding, and Laszlo was too late to try to save the girl from getting stabbed, and so he starts fighting Maverick in order to protect the girl. And it looks like the guy does know how to fight. He has some blades hidden in his leg, as you can see there, and he even got a hold of Maverick's sword later on in this fight, and he tried to stab her, but he ended up failing because Maverick kicked him in his abdomen, and he got sent down, and they tried to fight again, and he ends up getting slashed right up across his chest and his face. And before Maverick could kill him, the little girl pleaded to not do it. She was crying profusely and everything. And upon seeing the girl's face, Maverick is reminded of herself, and she envisions Abel once again standing behind her because she's gone psycho once again, And she's like, you know what, you're gonna suffer just like I did once I kill this man. But the weird thing about it was the girl started to laugh, and she was smiling over the fact that she was happy that Laszlo was the one that saved her from all the carnage that was going on outside when the destroyers invaded the city of Agaslo. Either that, or it may have been a prior incident where she might have been attacked by some Twilights, and maybe Laszlo happened to save her life. We're not sure how long they've been together, but one thing she did state before she died by Maverick's sword is that she was happy that it was Laszlo that chose her. And that's the unfortunate end of Helen and Laszlo once Maverick killed her, and she was disgusted by them and their words and things like that. Now going into the next fight, I want to touch on Mini-Me, aka Roast Boy. So Roast Boy is fighting Arnold and Leanne, and Arnold and Leanne are tag teaming against the guy. And Leanne states that she doesn't want to be a hindrance anymore once she has recovered, because she had got blasted by Mini-Me earlier in chapter, I believe it was chapter 9. And so she was trying to recover, and now she's back on her feet. And Arnold's hoping that she can put up a fight along with him. So that's the beginning of that fight. There wasn't that many scenes there. So yeah, before I talk about the Spies and Nero fight, we're looking at the scene of Beretta and Stryker. And Beretta's life has been saved, and she's somewhat unconscious here. She finally wakes up, and she almost died from the grenade that was set up by one of the twins that she and Striker were dealing with. And once again, Striker saves her life for like, I don't know how many times now in this manga. But yeah, so now they're in some kind of staircase, and Striker puts her down, and he said he's going to go back out there and fight, and he wants her to stay there and get some rest. And then there's another scene with how the assistants for the Monroe family, they're both Twilights, and it looks like Chow is indeed dead. He's not moving at all while Hal's carrying his body, and he's trying to contemplate in his mind what Striker told him about Dame Monroe. He just cannot believe that whatever Striker told him, it really had him so upset that he didn't want to believe it. He just kept denying it, whatever that may be. Whether that Striker might be working under Monroe, or Striker probably hates Monroe's death so much that he probably told him how despicable the man was, and that's eating away at Hal's very core as a man. So he's just trying to deal with it all as he's carrying his comrade Chow. And now we get to the fight with Spies and Nero here, and Nero's, talking trash and taunting Spies for the fact he's trying to get away from him and running off. And Spies warns him, I don't really care about killing you guys anymore. You better get away from me. I don't want to hurt you. And of course, Nero's not buying anything this guy's saying, because he knows that he's killed many of his comrades and also his own kind, and he's trying to figure out why would Spies try to care now about saving his life and anybody else's life that's a Twilight for that matter. But Spies had enough of his bullcrap, well, not his bullcrap, but his words. And he's warning this guy, hey, you better get away from here now, I will cut you into pieces. And you see, he got entrapped with his wires and everything, using his gauntlets. Man, this guy's brazen, man. This dude, this Nero guy doesn't care, man. He wasn't about to get chopped off like that. He was gonna die his own way. So as you can see there, he got his leg cut off completely, and he tells Spies, "Don't underestimate me. If that was your way of trying to make me forgive you, you're way too late for that, man." And all of a sudden, his partner Jared comes in there, and from the looks of things, he's not there to fight Spies. He's trying to get out of there, and he carries Nero on his arm, and he pretty much hauls butt. And naturally, Nero being the hothead that he is, he's trying to figure out why Jared's trying to save him all of a sudden. And Jared pretty much tells him, like, hey man, Arnold's orders, we got to get more reinforcements. Had it not been for me, you would have been chopped into pieces by that guy. Talking about Spies. But they didn't get very far, because there were some more Twilights that they encountered, and they ended up dying by Maverick. And man, and by the time Jared realized that he was in trouble and that it was a hunter, it was too late. Maverick ends up killing Jared by cutting his neck off, as you can see there. And of course, Nero didn't stand a chance either with only one leg. He wasn't fast enough to get away from Maverick. And she quickly disposes of his arms, as you can see there. And she's getting ready for the final blow, and once again she's stopped by Spies. And before that, Spies could kind of tell that Marie was on her way, because he had off the corner of his eye, he kind of noticed her walking away, and he was contemplating about what Nero was telling him about, Twilight's trying to forgive him everything. And so now at this confrontation with Maverick, he's very sure that what he's doing is the correct way of things. And later on in chapter 11, he's going to find out that yes, it was her that killed Helen and Laszlo. And so that's pretty much the end of the chapter there. So it's going to be off to a really great start once again. And this is only the beginning here, because this, like with chapter 11 and chapter 12, is mainly going to be the fight with Spies and Maverick. So definitely stay tuned for that. Oh, and one more thing before I go. For the very last chapter that I got, chapter 16, initially in my earlier chapters I said that Maverick may have been the one to give Spies that scar over his face. That may not be the case after all. I was actually wrong about that, but we'll get to that when we get over to chapter 16. Until then, stay tuned and look out for more reviews coming from my channel. Thanks.